All right, thanks, guys. The Rockets take on the Hornets. That's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Charlotte. The Rockets open the betting as the 4.5-point favorite. Total opened at 228. And since that one opened up, we're seeing a little bit of movement downward on the total. That moved down to 227. So once again, Houston opened and remains minus 4.5. Total opened 228 down to 227. 73% of the consensus is leaning toward Houston, and 77% of the consensus is shaded toward the over. Right now, Charlotte's plus 160 on the money line. Now, if you like Charlotte in this matchup here, you might not be in too bad of a spot. They're taking on a Houston team who has Nene, who's questionable for tonight's action. The Rockets also failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4. Houston's also just 3-8 against the number in their last 11 on the road. Houston ranks 27th in offensive field goal percentage. They're shooting just 44% in that category. They also rank 27th in offensive rebounding in the NBA. Now they're taking on a Charlotte team who's led by Kemba Walker, who's dropping over 20 points per contest. They're also led by Cody Zeller, who's grabbing around 6 rebounds per game. Charlotte is 60% against the number as the official home dog. They also rank 4th in the NBA in home free throw percentage. Now, when it comes to scoring, Houston's just 13-17 to the over on the road, 1-6 to the over in their last 7. Meanwhile, Charlotte just 2-8 to the over in their last 10, taking on Houston if you're into historical trends in betting. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean toward a home dog in this matchup here. I'm also going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Charlotte plus 5 in the under 227 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leads out for Wednesday's NBA, college basketball, and NHL action. It's hump day. Happy hump day. We're almost at the weekend, halfway there. But anyway, before we go ahead and proceed, I just want to remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. We're having an incredible run here in the past couple of days, so I strongly encourage you to just hit that pause button right now, open up your browser, and check out patreon.com/BrockPage. You can check out my current record in many different categories. Memberships to those personal plays begin at just $1.99 per month. And like I said, there's plenty of free content there as well, including my current record. So once again, please feel free to just hit that pause button right now, open up your browser, type in patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a couple of seconds. The link is in the description section below. And if you are a current patron of mine and you're currently watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. With all that said and done, let's go ahead and hop back into some more lines of personal leans. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Wizards Nets. We have Wizards Nets. 7:30 Eastern tip-off in Brooklyn. The Nets open 4.5, total open 237. And since that one opened up, just seeing a little bit of movement downward on the total. That moved down to 236.5. So once again, Brooklyn open and remains minus 4.5, total open 237, down to 236 and a hook. 71% leaning toward Brooklyn, 51% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Washington's plus 180 for some money line cash. Now, if you like Washington in the spot here, you're in a very, very tough position. They've been horrible on the road when it comes to the number. They're also taking on a Brooklyn team who ranks 3rd in home offensive rebounding. Brooklyn's 4-1 against the number in their last 5. They're led by Russell, who's dropping 21 points per contest, and Levert, who's back in action. He's dropping 16 points per contest as well. They're also led by Allen, who's bringing down 9 rebounds per contest. Now, Brooklyn's covering the number in 61% of their games when laying the points. 61% against the spread when laying the points for Brooklyn. Now, Washington, I said they were bad on the road. And to be a little bit more specific, they're just 9-22 against the spread when traveling. They're also covering just 27% of their games as the official road underdog. Now, Washington ranks dead last in the NBA in road offensive rebounding. They also rank 29th in road defensive rebounding. They are allowing 120 points per contest away from home this year. Now, when it comes to the total, Washington's 2-1 to the under, taking on Brooklyn this season. Brooklyn 2-1 to the under in their last 3 themselves. So with all that in mind, I'm going to once again purchase the half a point. Pay a little bit more juice, but I'm all right with it. Actually had a very nice explanation to my friends over at Wager Talk last night on one of my videos. But yeah, I got no problem laying a little, paying a little extra juice. Very superstitious with that half a point. But anyway, I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Brooklyn -4 and the under 236.5 in that matchup there. All right, next game, Warriors Heat. That's going to be a 7:30 tip-off in Miami. Golden State opened 8.5. Total opened 224. And since that one opened up, not a whole lot of movement in that one. We're just seeing a slight move toward the under that moved down to 223.5. So once again, the Warriors open and remain -8.5. Total open 224 down to 223 and a hook. 65% are leaning Golden State, 78% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Miami is +365 on the money line. Now we have Johnson and Magruder questionable for Miami. Justice Winslow is also upgraded to probable, even though he's been struggling with an injury. All that in mind, though, Miami's still just 1-6 straight up in their last 7, 2-8 straight up in their last 10. They're covering just 37% of their games at home, and their offense is scoring just 104 points per contest on their home court. The Golden State, completely different story on their side of things. They rank first in scoring in the NBA, 119 points per contest they're averaging. They're also ranking first in road field goal percentage. They're shooting almost 50% from the field when traveling, and actually it's 49.4% from the field on the road, to be exact. They're led by Steph Curry, dropping 28 points per contest. Also, Kevin Durant is dropping 28 a game as well. They're also led by Boogie Cousins, who's averaging 8 rebounds a game so far for the year. Now, Golden State's 6-3 against the number in their last 9 when traveling. They're covering 62% of their games, taking on teams under 450. When it comes to scoring, Golden State's 2-0 to the under in their last couple of games, 6-4 to the under in their last 10. Miami ranks 29th in home field goal percentage, shooting just 44% from the field. So I don't think we'll get over the number in that matchup there. I'm going to lean Golden State -8, obviously after buying the half a point, and the under 223.5 in that matchup there. All right, next game, T-Wolves, Atlanta Hawks, 7:30 tip-off in Georgia. Minnesota open -4.5, total open 236 and a hook. And since those markets opened that one up, we're seeing movement on both the spread and the total. A little half a point fade of Minnesota in the early going here. We're also seeing movement toward the under. That line moved to 236. Spread moved to 4. So once again, Minnesota open 4.5 down to -4. Total open 236.5 down to 236 even. 58% are leaning Minnesota. 65% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, Atlanta's +155 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Hawks at home here, just keep in mind they've dropped 6 out of their last 8 straight up. They're also just 10-18 straight up on their home court. They rank dead last in points allowed. They're giving up 118 points per game on average. Atlanta's also covering just 35% of their games at home. They rank 24th in home defensive field goal percentage. They're allowing their opponents to shoot 47% from the field in that category there. Now, Minnesota on their side of things, completely different story. They're perfect 6-0 against the number in their last 6 ball games. They're also covering 60% of their games that tipped off at the current number. Minnesota ranks 6th in the association in shooting the 3 ball on the road. The T-Wolves are led by Karl Anthony Towns, who's dropping 23 points per contest. They're also led by Derrick Rose, who's dropping 18 points per game as well. Minnesota is 6-2 against the number in their last 8 on the road. Now, total-wise, Minnesota's 3-0 to the under in their games at the current posted total. Atlanta, 80% to the under in their last 5 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the road favorite in this matchup here. Give me the Timberwolves -4 and the under 236 in that matchup there. Next game, Bulls, Grizzlies. 8 o'clock tip-off in Memphis. Memphis opened 2.5, total open 215. Now we are seeing a little bit of movement downward when it comes to the total. That moved a full point downward to 214. So once again, the Grizzlies open and remain -2.5, total open 215 down to 214. 55% are leaning Memphis, 53% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the Bulls are +145 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Bulls in this matchup here, just keep in mind they're going up against a Memphis squad who ranks second in home points allowed. They're allowing just 101 points per contest on their home court on average for the year. Very, very good on the defensive end of things. They also rank 4th in defensive field goal percentage. Their opponents are shooting just 43% from the field in that category there. Now, the Grizzlies, I mean, they're not putting up a ton of points, but they still do have some scorers, including Mike Conley, who's dropping 20.2 points per contest on average. They're also led by Jackson, who's scoring 14 a game on average as well. Now, when it comes to Chicago, they're just 16-45 straight up overall for the year, 7-24 straight up on their home court. Chicago ranks 28th in scoring, dropping just 103 points per contest in that category there. They're also ranking 25th out of 30 in road defensive rebounding. Now, when it comes to the total, Chicago's just 27% to the over in their games that tipped off at the current posted total. Memphis just 22% to the over in that same category. I'm going to lean Memphis -2 after buying the half a point and the under 214 in that matchup there. Next game, Trail Blazers, Celtics, 8 o'clock tip-off in Boston. The Celtics open -3, total open 227. And since that one opened up, we're seeing a slight fade of Boston when it comes to the spread. We're also seeing movement toward the under. That moved down to 226. Spread moved down to 2.5. So once again, Boston open 3, down to -2.5. Total open 227, down to 226. 53% are leaning Boston, 51% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Portland's +120 on the money line. Now, Boston is 23-8 straight up at the Garden this year. They're also 19-12 against the spread in that same category. They're led by Kyrie Irving, who's dropping 24 points per game. They're also led by Jason Tatum, who's scoring 16 points a game on average, and Al Horford, who's bringing down 7 rebounds a game as well. Now, Boston covers 66% of their games as the official home favorite. They also rank second in the NBA in defensive field goal percentage. Their opponents are shooting just 44% from the field in that category there. Now, on the Portland side of things, Evan Turner has been listed as out for tonight's action. They're also covering just 36% of their games as the official road underdog. This Portland defense is allowing 113 points per contest when traveling. They also rank 22nd in road defensive three-point percentage. Their opponents are shooting 37% from downtown in that category there. Now, total-wise, Portland's just 44% to the over in their games that tipped off at the current total. Meanwhile, Boston 0-4 to the over in that same category. Give me the Boston Celtics -2 after buying the hook and the under 226 in that matchup there. Next game, Pistons, Spurs. And that is going to be an 8:30 tip-off in San Antonio. The Spurs open -4, total open 220.5. We're seeing movement downward on the total since that one opened up. We're also seeing movement toward San Antonio when it comes to the spread. They're now -4.5, total moved down to 220. So once again, the Spurs open 4, up to -4.5, total open 220.5, down to 220 even. 60% are leaning San Antonio, 52% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Pistons are +165 on the money line. Now, San Antonio's 18-11 against the spread on their home court, 9-3 ATS at the current number. They're led by DeMar DeRozan, who's dropping 22 points per contest. They're also led by LaMarcus Aldridge, who's scoring 21 points a game as well. And in the rebounding category, Aldridge is bringing down 9 rebounds a game on average as well. Now, San Antonio ranks first in the NBA in three-point shooting. They're shooting an astounding 43% from downtown in that category there. They also rank first in the NBA from the stripe and 6th in home defensive rebounding. Now, Detroit, on their side of things, they're second to last in the NBA in offensive field goal percentage. They're shooting just 43% in that category there. They also rank 24th in road points scored at just 105 on average a game. Detroit's also 2-8 straight up in their last 10, taking on San Antonio if you're into historical trends. And they average just 95 points per contest in those meetings. Now, total-wise, Detroit's 40% to the over on the road, 5-8 to the over in their games at the current posted total. Meanwhile, San Antonio is just 37% to the over in their games played at the current posted total themselves. So with all that in mind, another chalky play for me here. I'm going to lean San Antonio -4 after buying the half a point in the under 220 in that matchup there. Next game, Pacers, Mavericks, 8:30 tip-off in Dallas. This one opened up as a pick'em contest. Total opened 216.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing movement toward the under when it comes to the spread, when it comes to the total. But we're also seeing money towards Indiana when it comes to the spread. They're now -1. Total moved down to 215.5. So once again, the Pacers open as a pick, up to -1. Total open 216.5, down to 215 and a hook. 66% are leaning Indiana, 80% shaded toward the over. Now we have Evans questionable tonight for Indiana with some sort of illness. We've seen that a lot this year. Most importantly, though, Sabonis has been ruled out for tonight's action for the Pacers. Now, Indiana ranks 22nd in scoring. They're dropping just 108 points per contest. They also rank 26 out of 30th in road offensive rebounding. Pacers are covering just 33% of their games at the current number, and they're just 11-16 against the number, taking on teams under 450. Now, Dallas, on their side of things, they're 10-3 against the number as the official home underdog. They're also a perfect 5-0 ATS in their games that tipped off at the current point spread. They're led by Luka Doncic, who's scoring 21 points per contest. They're also 20-10 against the number in their games on their home court. Now, total-wise, Dallas is 80% to the over in their last 5. Indiana 3-0 to the over in their last 3. I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me Dallas +1 in the over 216 in that matchup there. A rare over for me. Over 216 in that matchup there. Next game, Clippers, Jazz. 9 o'clock tip-off in Utah. The Jazz open 8.5, total open 228. And since that one opened up, we're seeing steady and consistent money on Utah in the early going here. We're also seeing movement toward the under with regard to the spread, with regard to the total. Let's get it right, Brock. Total's at 227, spread's at 9.5. So once again, the Jazz open 8.5, up to -9.5. Total open 228, down to 227. 51% are leaning Utah, 59% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Clippers are +400 on the money line. Now, the Clippers have successfully covered the number in 3 out of their last 4. They're also 5-3 ATS in their last 8. The Clippers are led by Lou Williams, the 6th man. Well, he ain't the 6th man no more, I guess. Lou Will, 20 points per contest he's dropping. Also, Gallinari's averaging 19 points per game as well. Montrezl Harrell is bringing down 7 rebounds a game as well for the Clippers. LA ranks 7th in scoring at 114 points per contest. They also rank 3rd in shooting the 3 ball. They're shooting 38.2% from downtown. Now, Utah ranks 20th in points scored, 26th from the stripe, and 20th in defending the 3 ball. Now, when it comes to the scoring, the Clippers are just 42% to the over in their games when traveling, just 44% to the over in their games at the current posted total. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me the Clippers +10 after buying the half a point in the under 227 in that matchup there. Next game, Bucks, Kings. 10 o'clock tip-off in Sacramento. Now, a lot of places, a lot of markets do not have a line for this game. I was able to find Milwaukee minus 5.5, but I'm still unable to find a total on this game. But we're going to go with Milwaukee minus 5.5. And of course, the reason for the uncertainty when it comes to the line is we have George Hill, who's questionable with a shoulder for Milwaukee. He did miss Monday, but obviously Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's injured, although he's been recently listed as probable. In the past couple hours, listed as probable for tonight's action. Milwaukee's been excellent this year. They're 5-0 straight up in their last 5, 11-1 straight up in their last 12, 17-2 straight up in their last 19. They're obviously led by Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's dropping 27 points per contest. They're also led by Chris Middleton, who's scoring 17 points a game as well. Giannis is leading the charge with 13 rebounds a game as well. Milwaukee successfully covered the number in 7 out of their last 10. They rank first in the NBA in offensive rebounding. Their offense is scoring 117 points per game. Now, when it comes to Sacramento, they dropped 3 out of their last 4. They rank dead last in defensive rebounding, and their defense is allowing 115 points per contest. Now, total-wise, once again, no posted total as of yet. So with all that in mind, I'm going to most likely lean toward Milwaukee minus 5. I'll probably end up buying that half a point if we open up at 5.5. I'm predicting a final score. We're probably looking around. It's going to be a close one for a little bit. I'm thinking, because Sacramento's been pretty good against the number at home, but I'm thinking Milwaukee 115, Sacramento 109. That is my absurd prediction on an actual score. All right, next and final game for our NBA slate. It is going to be Pelicans-Lakers, 10:30 tip-off in LA. The Lakers open 4.5, total open 239. No, you did not mishear me. The Lakers open as the 4.5-point favorite. And since those markets open this one up, the Lakers continue to take money. We actually saw a full 1-point move toward the Lakers. We're also seeing movement toward the under with regard to the total. The total moved down to 238.5. Spread moved up to 5.5. So once again, the Lakers open 4.5 up to minus 5.5. Total open 239 down to 238 and a hook. 59% are leaning Lakers, 64% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the Pels are plus 190 on the money line. Now the Lakers failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5. They're also just 6-15 against the spread, taking on teams under 450. The Lakers ranked 28th in three-point shooting. They're just 33% from downtown in that category. They also ranked 23rd in points allowed at 114 per game. Now the Pels, on their side of things, they've successfully covered the number in 3 out of their last 4. They also rank 3rd in road offensive rebounding. They're led by Anthony Davis, who's bringing down 10 defensive rebounds a game on average. 13 rebounds a game overall for Anthony Davis. He's scoring 28 points per contest. They're also led by Holiday, who's averaging 21 points a game as well. When it comes to the scoring, New Orleans is 3-3 to the under in their last 6. The Lakers 3-1 to the under in their last 4 on their side of things. As always, I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and take the Pelicans plus 6 and the under 238.5 in that matchup there. All right, let's go ahead and slide into